Hello, my name is Diane Smith-Howard. I'm a senior staff attorney here at the National Disability Rights Network. As many of you know, I'm a technical assistance resource in the network in the area of criminal justice, juvenile justice, and school-to-prison pipeline issues. And at NDRN, we are available to provide technical assistance and training on a variety of P&A topics. So if you have any questions as you go through this training process, feel free to give me a call. I can be reached at 202-408-9514, extension 120, or diane.smithhoward@ndrn.org. I want to just take a moment and talk about why knowing about fetal alcohol spectrum disorders is important to the P&A network. The first reason is, of course, the prevalence. The prevalence of fetal alcohol spectrum disorders is very high, particularly within our client populations. In addition, because of stigma and misinformation over the course of time, many families have not reached out to receive the services that they need and or to even get a diagnosis when that's been needed and would be helpful for benefits planning. So some of the areas in which P&As can be helpful to families and to individual clients with this disorder are benefits eligibility, special education eligibility, foster care and child welfare services, and juvenile justice and criminal justice advocacy. Specifically, many individuals do not qualify for the benefits that are traditionally available to individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and we'll be talking about that a little bit more later in the presentation. But benefits eligibility and finding creative ways to get folks services is a really important aspect of P&A advocacy for fetal alcohol spectrum disorders. In addition, special education eligibility and eligibility for Section 504 services in the school setting also may require some P&A skill. These kids with FASDs may qualify for services under the OHI category, or in some cases the DD categories, but sometimes that'll take some skilled advocacy, and we here at NDRN are happy to help you navigate that if you have clients with eligibility issues. In addition, services for children who have behavioral needs at school may come up in these conversations. It's important to know that they may be eligible for a behavior intervention plan in the school setting and for other types of modifications and accommodations. Thirdly, it's a very high prevalence rate of FASD in the foster care and child welfare populations. And as P&As start to do more work in the area of improving access to community-based services, this will be very important for folks to know about. There's very high prevalence rates for FASD in the juvenile justice and criminal justice populations. And P&As have worked successfully with public defenders and other criminal defense attorneys in ensuring access to information about diagnosis, treatment, and mitigating information that criminal defense attorneys can provide. P&As can be very helpful in providing information to public defenders and other criminal defense attorneys in the juvenile justice and criminal justice realms as well. Some P&As have done really yeoman's work in helping their criminal defense attorneys understand the nature of the disability and of the mitigating circumstances that may surround the crime, and have been successful in helping clients receive community-based services and probation services as an alternative to incarceration. So that's an important service that P&As can provide. P&As are also working at the national level on FASD-related issues, primarily DD work in general, and NDRN has had trainings on these issues and will continue to do so. We are on the advisory board of the NCCJD, which is a project of the ARC, looking at criminal justice and individuals with developmental disabilities, and of course FASD is tremendously important in that area. So we have done work around how to help individuals with DD navigate the criminal justice system. We have a website repository on the NDRN website of information about FASD. As you know, we do tremendous work within the network serving people with developmental disabilities, and we don't often do trainings on specific disability areas. And so we wanted to explain briefly what it is about FASD that's unique and why that diagnosis is important. First of all, research is developing over time, and what we are learning from this research is how common FASD is. It is currently the leading identifiable cause of developmental disability. And this is something that we simply didn't know before, because medical science was not developed to the point where we knew that. Secondly, it is often unrecognized Because one of the ways that it is unrecognized is because it creates sometimes a false IQ. Folks may test better on paper than they have adaptive skills in person and in their daily lives. In addition, they may have tremendous discrepancies within their adaptive areas. So they may seem as though they're extremely highly functioning in some areas and have tremendous needs in other areas. So that's one of the things that makes FASD unique. And when we're serving our clients, it's important to know that they have a diagnosis of FASD, so we are not putting them in a situation where their placement reaches their best day. If they have tremendous adaptive variability, a placement that understands their need for structure and the variability within their adaptive needs is really important. So some of the areas in which a PNA may try to reach out and address the needs of an individual with FASD are criminal mitigation, meaning the need for parole and services for individuals in the corrections system, treatment, benefits, foster placement, making sure, as we talked earlier, about finding a foster placement that truly fits the needs of the child so the child does not burn out of foster placement after foster placement, and also supportive employment and behavior planning for success in the school setting. Many kids with FASD do not respond to traditional ADHD medications, and that can be a source of frustration for folks in the school system. So having that diagnosis may help explain what's different about this child and why things that have worked well for other children may not be working for him or her. So that's why we are sharing this information with you. We really appreciate the time that you've taken today to learn about this important issue. Take care.